For women, I think also like we are completely like biologically and molecularly built different. Like,
yeah, we can't handle that.
We can't.
Not 24/7.
No,
not going to a 9 to 5.
We are up and down.
Right.
Up and down,
Yeah,
and
I
then
mean,
up,
we've
and
got
then
our-
like us as women are our own worst enemies. And I don't know where it stems from necessarily. Like I know we touched on it slightly about like, you know, the jealousy aspect of it, but also like being honest with yourself, knowing that like it's okay to want to live a soft life. It's okay to say like, I don't want to have to be in charge of it all.
If I were to come at her about if she's not doing something something I don't like and I need to address it, if I'm like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, I'm like attacking myself in a way. If I bring her down, if I knock her down a couple pegs, that is basically just knocking me down. Like it's just changing the energy in the home. She's sad. Now all of a sudden like things aren't right. And so what we've been really trying to focus on is like it's we with everything.
Like
well, plus the soft life, like us giving you a soft life is good for us. And the reason for that is like when I'm out in the world in business handling shit, it's like go, hyper competitive. You know, it's not soft. It's like you have to be on point. You have to be driving forward. You have to be like on your edge, right?
Right.
And so at the end of the day, like if my wife was also living that life, we would be coming home with just this energy. And I need to like let that
decompress.
off. I need
just
to decompress
two dicks in the house.
Like, I need to like be able to come home and have softness at home and like, you know, come to my wife and have it be like, help me unload that gnarly, like it's, you know, there's like this tension that lives in you when you're on your edge and like being competitive. And so I think if you don't create the soft life at home with your wife, then you're going to just be always in that mode. Cortisol levels just ripping through you.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Like gnarly diseases, you burn out, all these things that like your health will deteriorate if you don't have like some sort of softness to take your edge off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, there's also the conversation of like, you know, what's the word that I'm thinking of right now?
Like
moderation, right? Like moderation in like, yes, let's go, let's get it as a man. But then you come home and it's like you get to soften. And even in that soften, you get to like rest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, and then that gives you like that rejuvenization to be able to go right back at it and like do it all over again, right? And then for women, I think also like we are completely like biologically and molecularly built different. Like we have different.
We can't handle that.
We can't.
Not 24/7.
No,
not going to a 9 to 5.
We are up and down. Up and down.
Yeah,
and then up. And then like,
we're on like a 28-day cycle. Guys are on a 24-hour cycle. Their testosterone hits the same time every day. They can do it every day, but we're not the same.
And it's like, why has society been feeding us this lie? Like, oh, girls, like, be a boss, babe. Do it yourself. Well,
like, then you get to tax two people in a household. So it's really, it's a lot of the same reason that society trains workers instead of entrepreneurs. It's like
that's true.
It's a control mechanism, and I think making women work is a way to control society.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more empowering to be able to know like I have a healthy, strong, firm home. And I am the foundation. I'm like, I am the heart of the home.
Right. Yeah.
Versus like, I'm trudging to try to keep this chimney or like this, not chimney, what's it? Choo-choo train. Choo-choo train.
We're around the same way.
Yeah.
The chain rolling,
Yeah, it's just like, versus just being like, I'm just here like being like strong for my man, and then he comes home and like, well, you're always home because you work from home. But you know
when I'm
like,
can turn off properly.
I mean, I think that's why this is so important and why John and I wanted to start this, and especially glad to have you guys on, is because there needs to be more content like this.
Right.
Because we've been fed so much content. Like we've been talking about, like be independent and don't trust people, and so seeing it,
finding friends like you guys
in girls' rooms.
There's a lot. We don't. We have some friends like you guys, and then we have other friends that we've known for a long time that are,
just kind of
living,
stuck in that.
Men that are a bit in their toxic masculinity, women that are, out grinding and, and that she can't really be real about our home life because she's like, has to be timid about.
Right. Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, you know what it is being a girl, right? Like in a girl's room, you're, there's all this like chitter chatter to be like strong, be independent, be and and sometimes us as women are our own worst enemies. And I don't know where it stems from necessarily. Like, I know we touched on it slightly about like, the jealousy aspect of it, but also like being honest with yourself, knowing that like, it's okay to want to live a soft life. It's okay to say like, I don't want to have to be in charge of it all. And that doesn't...
For the woman. For
that
the men,
doesn't...
stay hard.
but that doesn't make you...
lesser.
No.
I am a strong,
beautiful.
powerful, beautiful woman. And I'm like fully empowered in my life to live a great, grandiose life. Like...
I feel like they just have never experienced, unfortunately, what you and I have experienced. And I think it comes more from a place of lack of knowledge of what they can do with their femininity when they are with a strong masculine man than anything. But what you said is 1,000% true. And what they also need to realize, like you said earlier, is that because you guys have the dynamic you have, you are also free without the pressure of like financial matters or things like that to pursue what you want to pursue.
Yeah.
And John would support you. And you don't have to worry about, oh, I got to pay my 50% with my business that I'm starting.
Right. Yeah.
You can just be like, oh, John's got that handled. They're both John, by the way.
I know.
Did we say that earlier?
Wait, hold on. There's
John.
a clear difference. Clear difference. He's Jahan. And he's John.
And he's John. They're different. Same, but different.
But I think also people get afraid because of, and that's why we call it, we invented the word, by the way, the modern traditional relationship. Right? Because traditional relationship, right, the way it used to be was the woman stayed at home, is in the kitchen, taking care of the kids, and the man, he works. And traditionally, I think the reason why she had to listen to him, obey your husband, and it was because women didn't have a way to support herself. Like she had to find a good man that, maybe not even a good man, but a man that makes money is a good man, like with a paycheck.
Back then, that's
right?
What,
and so that's how things were. And so the submission of a woman to the dominance of a man was not voluntary. It was out of necessity.
Right.
And so people are afraid of that. They're afraid of, oh, well, I don't want to go back in time where women were suppressed, right? And I don't want to be this macho man that just tells a woman what to do.
Yeah.
And things were like that perhaps for a lot of relationships, traditional, but the modern relationship is all out of whack where everybody can do it. But what we're trying to say is that it's the most beautiful thing in a relationship.
Yeah, because the woman has the choice to.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
She's
choosing you.
She said, I trust this man. I'm putting my life into his hands, not because I could make money on my own. I don't have to, I'm not forced into that situation, but I listen to him. I let him lead because I trust his judgment, not because the Bible says so or whatever it is. It's because this is a man. I understand it, and I want him to lead my life. I feel like he can do a better job of leading my life than I could, and I'm cool with that. That means a lot more because when you're not forced into the situation, and that's what we're. That's why I think that's so valuable, and that's the most powerful thing that you can have.
It's totally true. It's like I have wholeheartedly like the utmost trust in you to like lead our family right. Now, with that being said, right? Like, is it like I'm just like bending down at your will no, obviously we're having conversations about like, would you like this or would you like that?
No, and I think that's where I think there could be a mistake around that, as if it's like in this type of relationship, I like run shit, and I'd say it's like I run shit. Yeah, outward facing the world, I'm running shit.
But
in the
it's a
home, like
conversation.
we're partners, and like her feminine power is so strong that I want to go run shit in the world to give her the life that she deserves. And I think that's something that gets mistaken. It's like, oh, women are weak for wanting this life. And it's like, no, you're so strong and you're so feminine that this masculine man like wants to give you the world.
Yeah, because it's, you know, like if Nicole is, if you guys are, and I'm trying to think of like an actual like maybe a touch point specific, but like if there's something, there's always a conversation. It's never like, and I think women are afraid of like the control of a man, and I think there are men that can be controlling, and that can be scary, and that is toxic. But when you know that when you're in a good relationship, when there is that like, yes, I'm gonna follow you, but also like the conversations and flows, because it's all a vibe. It's all like, hey, babe.
It's like we now. It's what we've realized. Like we've been trying to move away from the me, everything. Like you're doing this, or no. It's like if I were to come at her about if she's not doing something something I don't like, and I need to address it. If I'm like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, I'm like attacking myself in a way. If I bring her down, if I knock her down a couple pegs, that is basically just knocking me down. Like it's just changing the energy in the home. She's sad now. All of a sudden, like things aren't right. And so what we've been really trying to focus on is like it's we with everything. And so if we're coming at each other, then we're not, we're doing damage to us. And if we're building each other up, we're building up us. And so, I think that is really one thing that people get mistaken with in this more modern is that it's like, oh, the man's in charge and he's running shit because he's making the money. And it's like, no, the reason I want to go make that money is because my woman's so powerful and she brings so much like heart into the home that I want to just feed that and give her the life that she deserves.
And I think of it as, I like to use the analogy of the captain of the ship. Like a good captain of the ship, he goes down with the ship, right? So he's still in charge, right? Ultimately, he's going to call the shots, and and the crew's going to respect him because they trust him. But the reason why the captain of the ship is trusted is because he should be putting the crew first, the welfare of everyone else. That's why, like, the captain goes down with the ship. Everyone else gets rescued. And so as a man, if I'm expecting a woman to follow me and to listen to what I have to say, to have that authority, then I have to have responsibility, because you can't have responsibility without authority. And so I know in our relationship, Nicole trusts me to make decisions. Obviously, I'm going to solicit her input on the things. Ultimately, even if she disagreed with me, she's going to go along with what I said because she trusts me as the leader. But the reason why I would say that she has that trust is because she knows that I'm putting her first. I'm putting the ship first, the family first. It's not my own motives or not my, I don't want to have power for the sake of being power. I want that to
your intention is for the good of the family.
Exactly.
For the good of your home. And that's like the biggest thing, right? Is like, where's your intention lying, right? When you're looking at these different polarities, is like, is your intention by being hyper masculine as a woman for yourself, or is it for the good of others? We've had this conversation a lot recently where it's like, it's not just all about ourselves. It's about like, how can we be the best selves to service to others versus service to ourselves. And being led with great intention and like honorable, integrity and like, and that's why Nicole trusts you, and that's why I trust John. It's just like, because I know his intentions will never like lead me astray, right?
Yeah. Good leaders. And good leaders don't have to say, you need to do what I say. Like, yes, technically I have the authority to say that, right? But I would never use that, right?
Exactly.
And unless it was an emergency, and there's like,
and it's like, no, come on,
we gotta go now. This is what we need to do.
100%.
In that situation. But a good leader, even not in a romantic relationship, but it's a leader of men, is going to. People are going to follow because they trust, because they know that person is looking out for them and the good of the team. And so that's I think a lot of people picture in their head as just barking orders, but that's not even good leadership in general. Even if you have the position of authority, even if you're the president of whatever, then you can command by giving orders. If you see a good leader, they're never going to do that. Even if they have that 100% authority and everyone has to listen to them, they're going to get people to follow them based on, first of all, servant leadership, that they're doing the actions first by example, and then because those people know that it's for their good, not for your own gain, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Better than perfect, we stand.